Alrighty, guys. Very special day for Calgary Roofing and Restoration. Something I've been excited about for months. It's been something that goes back into last year, starting of discussions, and we finally get to introduce you to the team. We have Damian Jennings, a very, very special person, not only to me but my family, a very good family friend. And welcome to the team, and kind of tell everybody a little bit about you and all that good stuff.
Well, first of all, thank you, Jordan. It's been a lot's happened up to this point, right? So I'm super excited about being here and just learning a lot. And it's been week one, and there's a lot that's come my way, and rightly so, and enjoying doing that. And looking forward to being as good a soldier for you as I can, and to Calgary Roofing Restoration. Obviously had a fantastic year last year, and I'd like to add to that, and keep scaling as you're doing in the masterful way that you're doing it. A little bit about myself: 3 children, married. We live in Tuscany. We've actually spent most of our time since being in Calgary in the Northwest, and really enjoyed up there. Beautiful views, obviously, of the mountains, and just a really nice community up there in Tuscany. I originally came over in 2012 when I was headhunted to coach the University of Calgary and the women's basketball team there, and I've built a network of friends and contacts here. And interestingly, I was sponsored by a great dealership called Charles Glenn Toyota, and they gave me a vehicle from the moment I arrived in the country in 2012, and got to know the dealer principal very well there, Tim Beach. And in the end, maybe about a year and a bit ago now, he asked if I'd move across, and did that for a year as well. So that was fun, and gave me a really good sort of insight into sales, I guess, and dealing with that, even though I've had some background before in just business in general, retail, grocery, that type of stuff. This was a wonderful opportunity. I love the scope of what you've got planned, and how you're doing that, and obviously got a lot of faith in you and your vision.
Definitely.
So that's how I'm here.
Definitely. And guys, just a little better understanding, anytime you're building a business, you have to have a few key pieces. And Damian is that key piece that is going to allow us to grow and scale. And as he learns more and takes on more responsibility, it is such a, it's something that's helped me sleep at night, knowing I have you on the team, because it's such a crucial piece for us and our success. But you mentioned a little bit, kind of, where are you from? You came over, you said 12 years ago. Kind of elaborate on that just a touch.
Yeah, so obviously you can tell by my funny accent that I'm not Canadian, although I consider myself very Canadian. We have 3 Canadian children now that outnumber us in our house. So my wife and I are British. We are both from England, but actually studied in Cardiff in Wales.
Okay.
So we met there, a basketball club that I ran, and we both went to the 2 universities. So really most of my adult life was in Wales, but we are English, both from the southwest. She's a physio, so it was a move that was a transition that would work for her as well. English speaking, everywhere needs physiotherapy. So when I was originally looking at some other options to coach basketball in Europe, this seemed like the most streamlined move. Prior to that, I was teaching at the university in Cardiff. I taught business and sports science as a bit of a mixed background in the School of Sport there, which is actually where I graduated from. Both my master's and undergrad are from there. So interesting background in higher education, teaching, high performance sport. Was grateful and fortunate enough to sort of coach all the way up to the national team level, be part of the Olympic program when we were hosting in 2012, to Eurobaskets, and then to come over and do it professionally here, which was a lot of fun.
Definitely. So kind of elaborate here. You've talked a little bit about your background. Now you're coming into the roofing space. Kind of what was the driving factor? What were you attracted to in coming over to Calgary Roofing Restoration?
Well, I think you created some securities for me, knowing that you knew what you were bringing in the sense that, I don't have 2 decades of sales, even though I think that we could probably argue that sales isn't everything, isn't it? So with a teaching, coaching, business background per se over the last 25 years, most of it has been around training, education, and then being in a high-performance environment, which is obviously what sales can be, right? And this industry too, I just love serving customers. I love I'm a detailed-oriented guy, so I love problem solving, finding solutions. So I think you gave me that security, as well as the year I just did with Charles Glenn Toda, which was a wonderful experience as far as, I guess, rudimentary training and just you are a salesperson, and wrestling with that as well. But you were actually called a product advisor there. And again, you and I have spoken about whether it's semantics or not, it's just kind of staying away from the idea of it just being sales and more about, we are consultants to help customers on finding the right solution for them.
Definitely.
And that's obviously got a budget aspect, it's got a safety aspect, and I really enjoyed educating the customer on the car side with Toyota. When they walked in, they knew they wanted a car, but just educating them on that, and I'm looking forward to educating the customer on the roofing system and how that is obviously the first protection of the house.
Definitely.
So yeah, I think you gave me the confidence, if I'm honest, to know that could fit.
Yeah. What was your attraction to the brand, Calgary Roofing and Restoration? I think we have the best logo in roofing, but what was there any attraction there to like the branding, the truck wraps, kind of what we're creating in that sense?
Oh, for sure. I think one, it represents you and your ambition for that to stand out in the local area, whatever you want to call that, the market. Obviously, it's a funky looking brand. It's an easy appeal. It's funny coming from the University of Calgary with the dynos, and I had that wrapped on a car. Every traffic light, you got the 5-year-old tapping on the window and telling mummy, look what's there. It'll be the same with this. The hero logo is a great choice. It just stands out, and everyone I've spoken to so far, it's just like, it's not to bash all the other logos, but who needs to see another roof?
Exactly. You see that a lot, so create something that stands out that people remember.
Yeah, I love it. But just also your professionalism and the way you want to scale this the right way so that we can do the quality job.
Definitely.
That was a very attractive piece to me. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
So moving more into the roofing side, and it's been a steep learning curve. Guys, Damian has gone through a ton of training in his first few days, from ventilation masterclass to systems and processes to materials to, we have 2 different systems we're running now, so getting trained on both of those, it's been a very steep learning curve, but obviously you're picking it up very, very quickly. What do you think homeowners care most about when choosing a roofing company to go with?
I'd like to think that ultimately they're looking for someone they can trust, which then means a business they can trust, where the quality of the product talks for itself, but at the same time you're educating them on what that product is and the differentiating options they have. But ultimately, from Genesis to Exodus, as far as the time spent with them, what does that look like, from the quality and the rigor of the inspection process that we will go through, to the presentation and the transparency of that detail, all the way to how the job's going to be looked after, the cleanup, the quality of the workmanship, and then the follow-up. And that's, I think, that beginning to end it's not just a roof. It's not just a roof. So I'd like to think that customers will be more keen on determining those kind of details. That'll be a value to them. Definitely. And my job is to make sure that they feel that that's what we'll deliver.
Okay. And I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot here, but where do you think Calgary Roofing and Restoration, where do you think yourself add the most value? Kind of where is the customer maybe not as knowledgeable in an area that they'll be like, I never really thought about that?
Well, definitely in the ventilation side of it. Obviously being very green on some sides of coming into the context of roofing. I've got 3 degrees of my own. I now feel like I've got another PhD in roofing in 2 days. But at the end of the day, it is a system, and therefore you've got an exterior impact on that system and you've got an interior impact on that system. So the ventilation, getting up into the attic and seeing that as a priority as part of the inspection is absolutely huge. Before you even start talking about shingles.
Definitely.
So if it was an eye-opener for me, it'll be an eye-opener for the customer, for some of them at least.
Definitely.
And to making sure that they know that we are looking after that side of the system.
Definitely. Because I think to elaborate on that a little bit, when looking at a roof, it's more than just the shingles on top. There's a whole underside from the decking, the ventilation to the attic insulation, and making sure this whole system works together. And I think, not everybody in the space checks all angles to make sure everything's working correctly. And one of the biggest reasons roofs fail before the time they should is from attic insulation, from ice dams, from attic rain, from all these other things that can be avoided when done correctly. Moving on here, kind of talking about our sales process. Obviously, we're not a high-pressured, close-today type company. We want to educate and give you all the tools to make an educated decision, see the value that we add before ever making, that final decision. But kind of elaborate on that, on sales process, and kind of what a customer can expect when we show up at their property to inspect their house and go over options.
Yeah, well, you're absolutely right. Obviously, there's a timeline to decision making, and every household is in a slightly different scenario. Whether they're looking at the insurance side of things, whether they want to obviously invest in their roof post damage, whatever it may be, or just looking for a little bit more curb appeal and a change. So obviously, every person that you meet is going to have a slightly different story and situation, and you're going to help them through that. It's a lot will come at them in that hour and a half, whatever it becomes, 2 hours with me, whether it's going from explaining some of the annotations from the pictures and videos that we take from on the roof and doing that inspection, to the attic, to the surrounding areas, where we can determine a lot about what's been going on, to then presenting very transparently a quote then of options that we would recommend, that we could think would fit their situation, and discussing that with the customer. And then just helping them through that decision-making process, whether it's there in that moment or in the 24 to whatever days afterwards that they need for decision-making. So I look forward to that. And I've done that a lot in the car industry already. So I always enjoy, as I say, the solution-finding, problem-solving aspect of it, and genuinely just caring.
Definitely. So obviously, for the last little over a year, you've worked in the car dealership world, worked with a lot of different customers there. What would you say customers notice most or enjoy most about working with you?
Oof. This is the ego answer, is it? Well, of course, you get feedback, so it would be remiss of me not to say, the quality feedback that you get when people say that, because they shop around, just as they do for roofing, no doubt, right? So with, quite a few Toyota dealerships in the city, it's nice to know that they've been to those, they've compared, and they come back because they feel a level of authentic trust. Most of that is probably done on listening and taking time and not being pushy, and ensuring that they get the information they want. And I don't just try and fit a square peg into a round hole for them. We genuinely kind of ask those questions that kind of tease out what it is they're actually looking for, and listen. So most of it's been around the trust part, obviously being fair on price and all those sort of things. But yeah, and you care. So the follow-up is genuine. I want them to be in the right vehicle, or I wanted them to be in the right vehicle, and I want the customer to pick the right materials and options and product for their roof.
Definitely.
So that they don't have to see me again for another 25 years, but we'll also refer their neighbors.
Definitely. All right, so putting you on the spot, but we got a few rapid fire.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, so we have 5 rapid fire questions here. The first one is asphalt or metal roof?
Let's go asphalt.
Okay. Are you an early morning guy or a late night guy?
I'm definitely late night naturally, but I force myself to be slightly earlier.
When you got kids, you're an early morning whether you want to be or not.
But if I could be doing a whole day and then Netflix for 2 hours till 1 a.m. and binge, that would be me.
Okay. Truck or sports car?
I'm supposed to say truck right now, aren't I?
Yeah.
But it's probably sports car.
Okay. Summer or winter in Calgary?
Oh, definitely summer. Love golf, love being out in the sun. So yeah, really looking forward to being out there working with customers in the summer.
Definitely. Last one. Best advice you've ever received?
What got you to here won't get you to there.
That's a good one. I like that. All right, we got a few closing questions, and then we'll be on our way here. If somebody needs their roof inspected, what would you tell them to do?
Call Calgary Roofing.
There you go.
.ca. And you don't have to necessarily just do an estimate online, but certainly connect with us. We look forward to doing any, at your timeline, getting an inspection done and coming to see how we can help.
Definitely. All right, two more here. What are you most excited about working with Calgary Roofing and Restoration?
What we have, what you already have here, and hoping to add to that. As I say, I'm a service person by mentality, and I want to serve the community and the customers that you've worked so hard to bring towards this business, and help you scale it.
Definitely. And then the last thing, what would you tell everybody watching this video if you got to tell them something? What are the closing remarks on this one?
Give us a call. I'm looking forward to meeting you, helping you out where I can. I put a lot of faith into Jordan, as Jordan has put a lot of faith into me, and I think you can see from some of the material that's out there, this is the man that you're seeing. He is genuinely that person in front of the camera, and he's building a really strong business, and I'm excited to be a part of it, and I'm excited about meeting you guys and helping you where I can. Okay.
Definitely. Kind of my closing remarks, guys. We are so lucky to have Damian. He is such a crucial role in this company and getting us where we want to go. And I couldn't be more excited that you've jumped on board with us. And, this thing's going to the moon, and I can't wait to just continue to help customers with the best customer experience ever. And you understand that more than anybody. You know what we're trying to give to customers. You know about that experience start to finish that we want to make sure that everybody has. We're never going to be perfect as a company, but obviously we stand behind our work. We know exactly, if there is an issue, we are quick to fix.
Yeah.
And that's why I trust so much in you, because you understand that. You understand how to work with people. You understand how to help people, and you're getting to where you understand how to educate people on a roof, which is new. But obviously you're picking up on it so well. So just want to say thank you for coming on the team, and
Welcome.
I can't wait to work with you for a long time and build this thing.
Yeah. Likewise.
Awesome, guys. Thanks for stopping by the interview and getting to know the new man, myth, and legend over here, Mr. Damian Jennings. So.